We're here at Syzygy Community House with Nick LaHaze, a member of the Syzygy design team at the 2001 Syzygy 1 Design Charrette. And how you doing, Nick?
Doing good. A little worn out from Raccoon Clan today, but otherwise I'm doing well.
Well, this is just about 1 week after the design charrette. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yeah, shoot.
In your own words, what was the task of the Syzygy design team at the 2001 Syzygy 1 Design Charrette?
I guess our task for the design team was to, we split into kind of two groups from the beginning, and one group focused on designing a transformational process for a specific sector of folks, such as having inherited wealth or financial capital, and what that would look like walking through steps based on the zone map. And then the other side was focusing on Syzygy specifically and the clients, Todd and Jenny Jones, in relation to Syzygy House, and just kind of looking at more of what's happened in the past and how to kind of move some numbers around to make them more favorable for everyone involved, and kind of further unlock the potential of Syzygy Community House as a venue or as a retreat center.
Great. What role did you play in the Syzygy design team?
I was mostly doing documentation, but was kind of floating in between the two groups and kind of just helping out where I was needed, and was working on the end presentations for a little bit, and also just helping in the brainstorming process and making sure, kind of just supporting where I could.
What do you think are the most important outcomes from the Syzygy design team?
It's hard. I think really both of the groups that we were working with created some really great outcomes with the designing the transformational process, which could, I think, be modeled for many different sorts of people and walks of life, and really kind of a really cool thing, bringing the people that we had working on the team together from really interesting aspects such as Gaia University and RDI. And I think one of the main parts would be kind of what we were able to look at transparently with the clients, and being able to kind of give them some input from some different designers on how they could further use this space and create more of a right livelihood, and also really just kind of I don't know. I think it was all pretty valuable stuff that came out of it, with some specific numbers and some specific next steps on what they could do if they wanted to further unlock some more financial capital, and or get more involved in the rest 8 forms of capital, and how to use what they already have in those different capitals.
Excellent. Well, you mentioned 8 forms of capital. I'm wondering, what resources and other tools did you use, and did the Syzygy design team draw upon during the design process?
Oh my gosh, so many. Definitely the 8 shields model, and kind of looking at nature's cycles. Definitely the 8 forms of capital was a really big one. Different sorts of permaculture models too, like zones and sectors, and kind of looking at zone 0, or we almost went to zone 00, is internal for the specific individual. Different sorts of tools that I hadn't used before, like Keynote and Pages on MacBooks, and using lots of documentation tools as well, and Google Docs was, of course, a very big one, and the whiteboards and all sorts of physical mapping that we were able to do as well. But I'm sure there was plenty more that I missed, but those are the big ones.
Great, thanks. What did you understand me, Todd, my role to be in relation to the Syzygy design team?
Definitely were the clients on who we were trying to design, and to meet your specific goals that you had set for us, and also looking at the Jones family holistic goals, and working with that. But also you were able to, definitely held a strong client role, but you were able to pop in too and give some input as well, and also kind of making yourself available for some interviews, and some questioning, and some really transparent communication as well.
Great, thanks. In what ways do you think that the Syzygy design team offered an opportunity for my action learning and skill building?
For your action learning,
yes,
specifically?
Mm-hmm.
I think it really, having a lot of different minds and people of different ages and different experiences working on a specific thing really gives you the different mindsets and different ways to look at things that maybe, speaking from my experience, I don't always see all of the entire picture at the same time. It's helpful when other people kind of, well, oh, look over here, check this out too. But I think that there was definitely some concrete next steps and ideas that came out of the Syzygy design team as well, and things that could be applied soon, such as here's where you could cut expenses, and or here's where you could ramp up prices for a Syzygy community house, and kind of what those look like on a pretty comprehensive spreadsheet.
Great. How do you think that my participation with the Syzygy design team might have contributed to my personal and or professional development?
I think it was definitely, you were able to wear a couple different hats at the same time, being the client but also being kind of, I don't know, for me maybe more of a mentor or a friend for other people too as well, and being on our level, but also, stepping out and being like, well, this is who we're designing this for. But, I think, I'm sure it was, there was some good personal learnings and unlearnings that came out of the design shred. I know a lot of, definitely including myself, a lot of personal learnings around a lot of things with being in a space like that with all those amazing people. And definitely I think a lot of it was really looking at your personal life to see how, what, and kind of questioning you, like, do you want to still live here? Where would you like to live? What are your ideal situations? And the no limits thinking and how to ground that down. And really also looking at Syzygy as a business and looking at your LLCs as a business, and how, how to make them even more so productive, or how to launch them into a new realm of being, and what your role in that looks like.
Great. How could the outcomes of the Syzygy design team benefit others and add value to their work?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that definitely the transformational process that was outlined throughout our design team could easily be scalable and modular to really anything almost. You could design transformational experiences for anyone, and I think in some aspect, Gaia U is a transformational experience, kind of maybe disguised as a university in some sense. But yeah, and I think kind of looking at other sorts of places and venues like Syzygy as well could take possible outcomes from how it's operating, and how how it has these permaculture land-based portions as well on site, and also kind of the different sorts of retreats and ceremonies and other events that are held here, and how you could expand that further. So I think there's definitely a few things that could be applied to other places, other people.
What are some ways that the outcomes of the Syzygy design team might contribute to the field of regenerative enterprise?
Yeah, that's another good question. I think it's, maybe going to unfold a little bit more still. I think, I'm definitely still integrating everything that happened here, even though it was a week ago. But I think that, we are designing Syzygy, and it already is in an aspect, but launching it to new levels as a regenerative enterprise to create, regenerative living for the folks that own it, for the Jones family, and making their livelihood succinct with what's going on here at Syzygy. Yeah, I don't have any other ones on that one. I'm sure it's going to continue to unfold, and even, I guess, creating the charrette as something that could be applied to other sorts of places and events and this really high intense designing with really amazing designers in a short period of time for really any sort of regenerative enterprise could be applied.
Yeah, that's good. Well, finally, do you have any other comments you would like to share about your experience at the events, and specifically as part of the Syzygy design team?
Yeah, I'm excited to down the road see what comes out of it, and see if things that came out of things that were outcomes from our design team were applied or not, or if they were kind of used in a different way but similar to what was recommended, or really seeing kind of this transformational process go beyond what was just designed here at the charrette and being applied on a more global, international level to kind of help, I don't know, I guess wake people up more or less, and just create a better world that we all want to live in. But definitely excited to see what comes out of all of the groups that were created, and just continuing to stay in the conversation and just was excited about everything that happened here, and so I'm excited to see what happens.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Nick LaHaye. It's been great to have you part of the team and part of the charrette, and thank you for helping me with my my output packet.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.